I finished my final exam in 20 minutes, 100 questions. Perfect silence in the room. So I used the remaining 40 minutes to do something no student had ever dared to do before. I destroyed my teacher's reputation with her own exam paper. And by the time the principal was done reading it, her career was already on life support. If you've ever been targeted by someone in power, ever been punished for no reason other than jealousy or bias, or ever fantasized about finally getting justice, hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because this is one of the most satisfying academic revenge stories you'll hear today. This happened in 9th grade honors English. I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't disruptive. I wasn't disrespectful. But from the very first week, this teacher didn't like me. Not the kind of dislike where a teacher thinks you're wasting potential, not frustration. This was personal. She had a thing against athletes, and I wasn't on just one team. I played 3 sports. That meant away games, travel, excused absences, and she hated it. Never mind that I also missed class for math competitions, science tournaments, and quiz bowl events, academic things that made the school look good. To her, athletes were lazy, and I was already guilty. She never said it outright. She didn't have to. She showed it. After every long away game, the homework load doubled, without fail. And wouldn't you know it, those were the only days she ever checked homework. Other days, she forgot. It didn't take long to realize she wasn't teaching anymore. She was setting traps. Then came the papers. I'd get mine back with a 72, sometimes an 80 if I was lucky. No red marks, no feedback, no comments, just a low grade. Meanwhile, the students around me had papers covered in red ink, every line corrected, every sentence marked. They got 90s. After one paper I knew I had absolutely nailed, I stayed after class. I asked her what I could improve. She didn't even pause. She said I was only working at about 70% of my potential, while other students were working at 90% of theirs. I remember just staring at her. Then I asked very carefully if that meant my paper could actually be better than someone else's and still score 20 points lower. She smiled and said yes. And just to make it extra confusing, she recommended me for an advanced writing class a full year earlier than most students were allowed to take it. So somehow my writing was weak, but also advanced? Sure. Near the end of the year, she announced extra credit. Big extra credit. We had to attend a college production of Antigone, write a 2,500-word analysis connecting it to our class discussions, and turn in the ticket and playbill. It was expensive, time-consuming, and exhausting. The due date was Monday morning. The problem was that I had an academic competition that day, an all-day event, fully excused, school-sponsored, and incredibly competitive. You had to qualify just to attend. I told her a full week ahead of time that I'd be gone. Her response, 4 separate times, was to turn it in Tuesday morning. Clear? Confirmed? Repeated. So I went to the play, wrote the paper, went to the competition Monday. I placed first in one category and second in another. I was representing the school at the highest level. Tuesday morning, before basketball workouts, I went to her classroom at 7 a.m. and handed her the paper. She didn't even look at it. She told me it was late and she wouldn't accept it. My stomach dropped. When I reminded her that she had told me Tuesday was fine, she looked me straight in the eye and said she didn't recall ever saying that. 4 times, suddenly erased. She told me another student had turned theirs in. That student lived across the street from the school. I lived 20 minutes away and couldn't drive. She said I could have sent it with my mom. My mom was a teacher at the school with her own classes and exams to proctor, and again, I had been told to turn it in Tuesday. Then she said I could have written it Monday night, which wouldn't have been fair to other students. So I pulled up the metadata. The paper had last been saved Saturday afternoon. She didn't care. No credit. Not partial. Nothing. I lost $25 for the ticket, the hours of work, and my mom had gone out of her way to drive me back and forth that Friday night, rushing me home from practice, downtown to the play, then picking me up again afterwards. My mom was furious, and for the first time, I wasn't just frustrated, I was done. She loved one thing more than control: her reputation. She constantly bragged that no student had ever earned an A on her final exam. Ever. On the last day of class, she asked the room what her biggest wish was. I said my wish was for an A on the exam. She laughed. Then she said she wished for $1 million and never have to deal with me again. The room went quiet. That was the moment everything clicked. Not anger, clarity. The final exam was 100 questions with 2 hours to complete it. There was also a 5-point bonus question asking what our favorite part of the class was and what we learned. I finished the exam in about 20 minutes. No rushing, no guessing. Then I turned to the bonus question, and I let everything out. I wrote that I wasn't sure I learned anything because she never once gave me constructive feedback on how to improve my writing. I said my favorite part of the class is that it was finally over. I detailed the favoritism, the homework traps, the grading hypocrisy, and the Antigone incident, line by line, clear, direct, unfiltered. I wrote that she was the worst teacher I had ever had, and that the school was worse off with her teaching 9th grade. When the bell rang, I was the only student out of more than 100 who stood up and left at the 1-hour mark. On exam days, teachers didn't proctor their own exams, so I had to wait for my mom to finish proctoring elsewhere. I was sitting in the breezeway when she found me. She was holding my exam. She was crying. She told me to go to the principal's office. Then she stormed away. Later, she came back with my mom, having pulled her out of another exam, and we all went into the office. She broke down completely, crying, yelling, barely able to speak. I calmly explained everything I had dealt with all year, things I had already told my mom many times before. After about 45 minutes, the principal finally looked at her and asked how much the bonus question was worth. She said 5 points. He nodded and said to just not give me the bonus points. That was it. I made a 98 on the final exam. I missed 2 questions. Every other student received the bonus points. The only highest score in the entire grade was an 81. Her perfect record was gone forever. A few days before grades were finalized, I noticed one of my early assignments had mysteriously dropped 10 points. My final average became a 94.4. At the time, that was a B. I couldn't prove she changed it, but it didn't matter. That summer, the school switched to a 10-point grading scale. A 90 or above became an A. My B turned into an A. She was required to start having her assignments approved by the department chair and accept submissions by email. 2 years later, after more students came forward, she was fired. Before me, the administration thought it was just students complaining about a hard teacher. Turns out, it wasn't. I never planned to ruin her career. I just refused to stay quiet, and sometimes the truth does more damage than revenges ever could. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, have you ever had someone in power try to break you? because karma doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it hits hard.